Romano confirms that the midfield signing for Manchester United in January is on. Wharton, Baleba, Elliot Anderson, the three names Manchester United have their eye on and want to get ahead of the competition on. Could a January move be possible for those players? We will talk about all of that. We'll talk about the latest on Bruno Fernandes. 60 million exit price agreed. United will let him go for 60 million plus. Is that too low? Because I feel like with Bruno, he's one of those players that when we sell him, I think our fan base will really appreciate what he brings. I know he doesn't suit Amorim's system. I understand why he would be sold if Amorim is a long-term manager, but I'm just saying I think he would be a bigger miss than some people think. We're going to talk about Shea Lacey. He is training with the England first team. What does that mean? Because he's not even made his Man United debut and he's with the England first team today. We're going to talk about Joshua Zirkzee, and we're also going to talk about the clubs interested in him. We're going to talk about why Amorim needs to adapt. Former Manchester United coach speaking on why Amorim needs to adapt. And then we will talk about the latest on the injury front in regards to Lisandro Martinez. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news roundup. I'm currently on the go, filming on the go, so I don't have my mic and stuff with me. So I do apologise if the audio is a little echoey or not up to scratch. But yeah, let's get into all the latest Manchester United news. So Romano said this. There's a possibility of Manchester United going for a midfielder in January. Now, why is this big news and what does it mean in regards to Baleba, Wharton and Elliot Anderson? Well, I'm going to get into news on them in a second. We need a midfielder. We absolutely need a midfielder that suits the system. Casemiro's legs have gone. Agate's a liability. Bruno does not suit the system. And Mano has all the technical attributes we need, but Amorim doesn't trust him maybe physically. So United do need a Carlos Baleba type midfielder, not a Conor Gallagher. We need someone that's actually a little bit good on the ball. But we need a midfielder. Midfield is an issue, whether that's because the way Amorim sets up the midfield, or whether it's the personnel, or a mixture of both. Midfield is an issue. And United are aware of that. We went for Baleba in the summer. We tried to get a midfielder in the summer. It didn't go to plan. Now, Baleba keeps getting hooked off before 60 minutes nearly every game for Brighton. He's not been good. My question to you is, do we avoid Baleba and go on form, or do we see if we can get Baleba on a cut price because things aren't looking good at Brighton? And I think with the way Baleba's been playing, they might sell him in January. So, this was a report that came out last month by Mike McGrath, who's a good journalist on Man United's plan. So I wanted to reference this report because he's quite credible and I think it links to what Romano said. Manchester United are ready to lead the way next summer in the race for a number 6 midfielder. Anderson, Baleba and Adam Wharton were among the deep-lying midfielders expected to be in high demand from major European clubs, with Baleba valued at over £100 million. So, this has been said by many people and many credible sources. Baleba, Anderson, Wharton, they are the three midfielders in demand. They are the three midfielders that I feel like everybody wants. And they're the three midfielders Man United have got their eye on, particularly Carlos Baleba. The problem with Carlos Baleba is he's valued at over 100 million. Brighton, I don't think they're going to value him over 100 million with the way he's been playing this season. Forest is a difficult club to deal with in the transfer market. There is talk of Adam Wharton having a 65 million release clause in his contract that is active next year. So, if Adam Wharton's available for 65 million in the summer, you go for it. If you can get Baleba for 70 million and get its price tag, you go for it. Adam Wharton and Baleba to replace Bruno and Casemiro, that is what United's midfield needs, and hopefully we do that. But Tottenham need a midfielder, Liverpool may look at midfielder, City may look at midfielder. I don't feel that Arsenal need one. I don't feel that Chelsea need one, but Chelsea are greedy. But there's going to be a lot of top clubs in for a midfielder, even like Real Madrid and Barcelona. You can't rule them out. And I think Wharton, Baleba, Anderson is going to be a lot of competition. And I think United realistically need 2 of those 3. We need 2 big midfield signings in the summer. And people say, well, Alice, how will we afford that? Well, we're going to save literally like nearly 20 million a year when Casemiro leaves in wages. And we're also going to get 40 million for Højlund, 26 million for Marcus Rashford when he goes, if they keep doing well on loan. And of course, there's talk about Bruno Fernandes. So what's been said on Bruno Fernandes? It has been said that Manchester United wants in excess of 60 million for Bruno next summer. Clubs in Saudi Arabia have been made aware. Now, personally, I'd want at least 70 million, but I guess with Bruno's age, for me, Bruno Fernandes is one of those players that is probably a 60, 70 million pound player, but because of where Manchester United have been and how important Bruno has been to getting us out of almost relegation last season, Bruno is probably worth more than 100 million to United because of just what he brings all round. Now, there is a feeling that and there was a rumour, and I don't know how true this rumour was, that Bruno was going to give Man United one more season because he didn't want to leave us this year. He felt that, Amorim wanted him to stay. Amorim made it clear he wanted Bruno to stay, and he didn't want to leave Man United this year. There was also rumours that his family didn't want to go to Saudi just yet and stuff like that. So there's always been rumours that Bruno was always going to stay one more season at Manchester United, and next season would be his last. So this season right now would be his last. Now, we were close to asking around 90, 100 million for Bruno in the summer. His price tag will now go down, and United are happy to accept anything over 60 million. I would be asking for in excess of 70 million if I was going to be honest. I'm a massive Bruno Fernandes fan. I don't want Bruno Fernandes to go, but I think if Amorim is here in the summer, and he continues to plan to play Bruno deeper, then maybe that's when we do look at moving on Bruno. I think if we have a good season and we finish 6th and Amorim stays and we know that Wharton and Baleba are the midfielders that he wants, I think we can look at moving on Bruno because we're like, look, we came 6th now. Bruno doesn't suit a deeper role in Amorim's pivot. Boom. But I think if we have a bad season, we sack a manager, we come 12th, 13th, selling Bruno, then in next summer, I'm a bit like, Bruno's the guy that helps us when things are bad. So I think it really depends where we are in the summer. I love Bruno. I don't want Bruno to go. I think he's worth more than 60 million, but I understand long-term fit for the system. He may need to go. He's aging. This is one of the last opportunities to get money for him. So as much as I love Bruno, I do understand that he may need to leave at some point, and this, it's better for him to leave at the right time than overstay his welcome. But I think like right now, I know Bruno hasn't had the best start to the season, but he is our best player and he is our most important player. And even if he's playing in a position that doesn't really suit him, he's such a valuable asset. Now, yesterday, Indy Kala had already claimed a move had been agreed, that Bruno was about to agree personal terms to join Saudi. But as I said in my video yesterday, these are reports. I would take the reports with a pinch of salt. I don't think anything's been agreed. And if it has, Man United wouldn't want it out. Romano was asked about what Indy Kala had said yesterday and the Bruno links to Saudi, and he said nothing at all at the moment. Full focus on United. He signed a new deal a year ago, so nothing concrete at this stage. Saudi remain interested. I think it's a situation of Bruno will make a decision at the end of the season. Saudi are there. Saudi are interested. They'll go back in for Bruno next summer, and Bruno will decide next summer whether he wants to stay at Manchester United and go. Manchester United are looking at 60, 70 million for Bruno because they obviously want to rebuild their midfield. So let's continue into some more stories. If you didn't know, Shea Lacey trained with England's senior squad today, probably there to make up numbers and stuff, but it was good to see Shea Lacey actually in and around the England first team players training. He's been doing some first team training with Manchester United lately. He's really highly rated by Aaron in the club. The reason we haven't seen any of Shea Lacey and the reason he wasn't on tour is purely because of his injury issues. Ability-wise, he's rated very highly by the club, very highly by England, which is why he's training with the first team for England. He's training with the first team for the club. Man United looking for the right time to maybe give him a debut because it kind of depends on injuries and stuff. Talking of a player that wants to get minutes, we're going to talk about Xerxes. I'm not sure if you watched my video yesterday, but obviously Xerxes hasn't been getting the amount of minutes he wants, and we spoke about not being European football is making it hard to rotate. Xerxes is a good player, but Sesko is the striker, and we've only got one game a week, so unless Sesko gets injured, there's no reason not to play Sesko in those games. If you're in the Europa League, you can play Xerxes in those games, so we're in that sort of situation with Xerxes and Sesko right now. And then, we've got loads of number 10s. Bruno can play there, Ahmad can play there, Cunha can play there, Mount can play there, and Bumo can play there, but it's difficult for Xerxes to play as a 10. So as much as I like Xerxes and want to see Xerxes get more minutes because he's a valuable squad player, I understand why he's not playing and why he may look at a loan. Everton and West Ham are keeping tabs on Xerxes ahead of a January move, but I think if Xerxes is to go on loan, he will go back to Italy because he's got the likes of AC Milan and Juventus interested in him. René Molestine, who was formerly at Manchester United, said on Ruben Amorim that no system is the problem of football. The question to ask is whether the players you have can apply it correctly, and if they can't, you have to adapt. The problem is he keeps trying the same thing and nothing changes. And the reason this is in today's video, even though it's completely irrelevant to everything else I've been saying, is on Amorim. His system works with the right players, but he doesn't have the players to make his system work. So instead of trying to make his system work with these players, he needs to adapt to the strengths of these players, bring in the players he wants for a system, then go back to his system. And I think Rene is absolutely spot on with that. You can't keep doing the same thing because we don't have the players for your system right now. Talking of a player that could work well in Amorim's system, Alessandro Martinez, he is training on the field. He's not doing ball work yet, according to some sources, but he is training and he's looking to return by the end of October as well. So yeah, that is all your Manchester United news rounded up in 10 minutes. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.